Chosen one, stop scrolling. This isn't just another video. It's a wake-up call straight from heaven, a divine signal meant to jolt your spirit awake. God has marked specific dates on his eternal calendar, moments destined to flip your life upside down with purpose and provision. These aren't random days, they're sacred turning points where your destiny locks into heaven's plan. You've felt it, haven't you? That restless tug in your soul, the whisper that something massive is on the horizon. It's not your imagination. It's your spiritual awakening, your divine purpose breaking through in real time. The sleepless nights, the financial strain, the moments you felt invisible, those weren't dead ends. They were God's chisel sculpting your heart to hold the abundance he's already set in motion. Envision a celestial scroll unfolding in the throne room of heaven, your name blazing in golden light, with dates marked by divine hands, ready to unleash your breakthrough. These are the days when doors will swing open, when provision will chase you down, when clarity will replace confusion. You're not waiting for a miracle anymore. You're stepping into a divine flow where miracles become your new normal. But here's the truth. God's plan for your prosperous life doesn't unfold by accident. It requires your faith, your courage, and your willingness to move when heaven says now. The enemy has tried to drown out this truth with fear, whispering lies that you're too late, too broken, or too small. But God's voice is louder, and he declares in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Those plans are active, chosen one, and they're tied to specific moments, dates that are already set. Let's talk about your journey for a moment. You've walked through valleys that felt endless. Maybe it was a job loss that shook your confidence, a relationship that left you questioning your worth, or a dream that seemed to slip further away with every step. I think of Sarah, a single mother I once heard about, who faced eviction notices and worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table. For years she prayed, clinging to a vision of starting a small bakery, but every door seemed bolted shut. Yet, in a single week, on a date she didn't see coming, a local pastor connected her with a grant program, and a vacant storefront became hers at a price she could afford. That was her divine moment, her breakthrough, and it wasn't luck. It was God's timing, aligning her faith with his provision. Your story may feel different, but the principle is the same. Your struggles have been shaping you for a personal transformation that's about to unfold. This video unveils a unique truth. The dates God has set for your life are not just about receiving blessings. They're about becoming the person who can steward them. Your deepest fears, the ones that keep you up at night, are not roadblocks. They're keys to your greatest breakthroughs. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, the waves crashing with promises of abundance, but fear holds you back from stepping in. What if that fear is the very doorway to your divine provision? God isn't asking you to have all the answers. He's asking you to trust his timing, to believe that the dates he's ordained are already working in your favor. In Psalm 37:23 it's written, "The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord." Your steps, chosen one, are being guided toward a prosperous life, and the calendar of heaven is turning in your favor. If this message is stirring something deep in your soul, if it feels like a spark igniting your faith journey, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks. Your gift helps us spread the message of divine provision to more chosen ones like you, lighting the path to their breakthrough. Now let's get practical, because faith without action is like a seed that never breaks through the soil. God's plan for your wealth creation and spiritual awakening requires you to move in alignment with his timing. Here are 3 specific steps you can take right now to prepare for the dates that will change everything. First, Write down one clear goal for this month. Something tangible, like applying for a new job, starting a side project, or saving a specific amount of money. Make it bold but achievable and place it somewhere you'll see daily, like a note on your mirror. Second, reach out to someone who inspires you, a mentor, a friend, or even a family member you've lost touch with, and share your vision. Their encouragement will be a divine connection, a reminder that you're not alone. Third, take one small step toward a dream you've delayed. Maybe it's researching a business idea, writing the first page of a book, or signing up for a course. These actions aren't just tasks. They're prophetic acts, signaling to heaven that you're ready for your divine purpose. Now, let's address the weaknesses of those viral videos you've seen. They often lean on repetition or vague promises, leaving you inspired but unsure of what to do next. This message is different. It's not about hype, it's about alignment. You don't need to chase miracles with endless striving. You need to position yourself in faith, trusting that God's dates are already set. Think of David, who faced Goliath not with a perfect plan, but with a sling, 5 stones, and unshakable trust in God's timing. Your giants, whether financial stress, self-doubt, or past mistakes, are no match for the divine moments God has prepared. In Isaiah 60:22, he promises, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." That time is approaching, chosen one, and it's closer than you think. As you stand on the brink of your breakthrough, picture a radiant clock in the heavens, its hands moving toward the exact moment when your life shifts. Every tear you've shed, every prayer you've whispered has been recorded, and they're converging on these divine dates. You're not just surviving anymore. You're stepping into a season of financial freedom and overflowing blessings. But what makes this moment sacred is your choice to believe, to act, to trust that God's plan is not a distant hope, but a present reality. In the coming days, you may notice small signs: a kind word from a stranger, an unexpected opportunity, a sudden clarity in your heart. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations that heaven is moving. If this message resonates, let's build a community of faith. Type "I trust God's timing" in the comments below and join thousands of chosen ones declaring their readiness for divine provision. Your voice matters, and your faith is a beacon to others. But what if the doubts creep in, whispering that these dates are just another promise that won't come true? That's where your faith journey becomes a battle, not against circumstances, but against the lies that try to steal your destiny. Let's explore how to stand firm in this sacred season, because the dates God has set are not just about what's coming. They're about who you're becoming. Chosen one, you're standing at a divine crossroads, where the whispers of heaven are growing louder, urging you to lean into the sacred rhythm of God's timing. The dates He has set for your life, those pivotal moments when everything shifts, are not distant stars in the sky. They're as close as your next breath, as real as the heartbeat in your chest. You've felt the weight of waiting, haven't you? The nights when worry wrapped around you like a heavy fog, the days when every step felt like a battle against unseen forces. But what if those moments weren't delays, but divine orchestration, aligning every detail of your life for a breakthrough that's already in motion? God's plan for your spiritual awakening is unfolding, and the dates He's marked are the hinges on which your destiny will swing wide open. Imagine a vast tapestry stretched across the heavens, woven with threads of your prayers, your dreams, your quiet acts of faith. Every struggle you've faced, whether it was a bill you didn't know how to pay, a dream you shelved to survive, or a wound that left you questioning your worth, has been stitched into this divine design. God hasn't forgotten a single moment. In Psalm 56:8, it's written, You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Those tears, chosen one, are the ink of your story, and they're about to write a chapter of overflowing blessings. The dates God has set are not just about provision, they're about revelation, showing you who you were always meant to be, a vessel of divine purpose, a beacon of prosperity, a living testimony of God's unshakable love. Let's ground this in a story that feels like it could be yours. Think of Marcus, a man who spent years working a dead-end job, his heart burning with a vision to start a community center for at-risk youth. He faced rejection after rejection. Banks denied his loans, friends called his dream unrealistic, and his savings dwindled to nothing. Yet, in a single month, on a date he couldn't have predicted, a local business owner overheard him sharing his vision at a coffee shop. That conversation led to a partnership, a donated space, and a grant that covered the first year's expenses. Marcus didn't chase that moment. He prepared for it through years of quiet faith, trusting God's timing even when the evidence was scarce. Your dates, chosen one, are like Marcus's. They're moments when heaven intersects with your obedience, turning your faith journey into a prosperous life. Now, let's address the fear that tries to creep in. The voice that says, what if these dates pass me by? What if I miss God's plan? Fear is a thief, but it's not your master. In 2 Timothy 1:7, God reminds us, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Your divine purpose isn't fragile, it's fortified by heaven's promise. The dates God has set are not a test you can fail. They're invitations to step into a flow of divine provision that's already yours. But stepping in requires you to release the old mindsets that tether you to scarcity. You're not defined by past failures, by the opportunities you think you missed, or by the people who didn't see your value. You're defined by God's call, and that call is resounding in this very moment. Let's build on the 3 steps we've already discussed: writing a goal, connecting with an encourager, and taking a small step toward a dream. Here's a 4th step to anchor you in this season. Practice gratitude daily. Each morning, write down one thing you're thankful for, no matter how small. A warm meal, a kind word, the strength to face the day. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a prophetic act, shifting your focus from lack to abundance. It's like tilling the soil of your heart, making it ready for the seeds of wealth creation and personal transformation that God is planting. And here's the 5th and final step: pray with expectation. Set aside 5 minutes each day to speak your dreams aloud to God, not as wishes, but as realities you're ready to receive. Say, "Lord, I trust your timing. I'm ready for the dates you've set." These 5 steps, writing a goal, connecting with someone, acting on a dream, practicing gratitude, and praying with expectation, are your bridge to the breakthrough God has prepared. Now, let's talk about why this message feels so urgent. The viral videos you've seen often lean on emotional highs, but they can leave you stranded without a map. This is different. It's not about fleeting inspiration. It's about aligning your life with heaven's calendar. God's dates are not arbitrary, they're precise, like the moment in Exodus 12:41 when the Israelites left Egypt on the very day God had planned. Your very day is coming, chosen one, and it's not just about financial freedom or a new job. It's about stepping into a life where every area, your relationships, your health, your creativity, radiates divine order. Picture a river of abundance flowing toward you, carrying ideas, opportunities, and connections. Your job isn't to force the current, It's to position yourself in the stream. If this message is igniting your spirit, join our community of believers by typing "I'm aligned with God's dates" in the comments below. Your declaration is a signal to heaven and a light to others walking this path. Let's create a chorus of faith, a collective yes to the divine moments God is orchestrating. And if you're moved to support this mission, consider a super thanks donation to help us reach more souls with the promise of their prosperous life. Your generosity is a seed sown into the kingdom, multiplying blessings for others. Now, let's dive deeper into what these dates mean for you. They're not just about what you'll receive, they're about who you'll become. God isn't just funding your bank account, He's funding your character, your courage, your capacity to lead. Think of Esther, who stepped into her divine moment not with a crown, but with a heart ready to risk everything for her people. In Esther 4:14, Mordecai tells her, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Your such a time is now, chosen one." The dates God has set are your royal moments, when your preparation meets His purpose. You may not see the full picture yet, but every step you take in faith is a brushstroke on the canvas of your destiny. What makes this season different from others? It's the clarity that's emerging, like dawn breaking after a long night. You've been sensing it. Moments when your intuition feels sharper, when a stranger's kindness feels like a message, when a new idea sparks in your mind and won't let go. These are signs that God's dates are near. In Habakkuk 2:3 he says, "The vision is yet for an appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not disappoint." Your vision, whether it's starting a business, healing a relationship, or finding peace, has an appointed time, and it's rushing toward you. But here's the key. You don't need to strive to make it happen. You need to trust and act, knowing that heaven is aligning every detail. Let's address a common trap, the temptation to compare your journey to others. You see someone else's breakthrough, a new car, a thriving career, a happy family, and wonder why your dates haven't arrived. Comparison is a thief, stealing your joy and blinding you to the unique path God has carved for you. Your dates are yours alone, tailored to your story, your strengths, your scars. In Galatians 6:4, Paul writes, "Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else." Your breakthrough isn't delayed, it's divinely timed, and it's coming with a precision that only God can orchestrate. Now imagine this. A radiant key, glowing with heavenly light, placed in your hand. This key unlocks the doors tied to God's dates, doors of opportunity, healing, and abundance. But the key only works when you use it with faith. Doubt will jam the lock. Fear will make it heavy. That's why your 5 steps, writing a goal, connecting, acting, giving thanks, and praying, are so vital. They're not just actions, they're expressions of trust, turning the key in the lock. Picture yourself standing before a door with your name carved in gold, the sound of heaven's celebration echoing on the other side. That's what's waiting, chosen one, and it's closer than you think. But what if the fear returns, whispering that you're not ready, that you'll fumble the moment when it arrives? Fear is a signal, not a sentence. It's telling you that something big is at stake, that your divine purpose is worth fighting for. In Joshua 1:9, God commands, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Your courage doesn't come from having all the answers, it comes from knowing who walks with you. The dates God has set are guarded by His presence, and no fear can cancel what He's promised. As you move toward these divine moments, expect the unexpected. A phone call from someone you haven't spoken to in years. A sudden idea that feels too perfect to be yours. A door opening where you least expect it. These are the fingerprints of God's timing, evidence that your faith journey is bearing fruit. In John 16:24, Jesus says, "Until now you have not asked for anything in my name. Ask and you will receive, and your joy will be complete." Ask boldly, chosen one. Ask for clarity, for provision, for the courage to step into your destiny. The dates God has set are your invitation to live with complete joy, unshackled from the chains of lack and doubt. This is just the beginning. The tapestry of your life is still being woven, and every thread is leading to a moment that will take your breath away. But what if the next step you take is the one that unlocks everything God has promised? Chosen one, you're standing on sacred ground, where the whispers of heaven are becoming a roaring call, urging you to embrace the divine dates God has set for your life. These aren't fleeting moments or wishful thoughts. They're eternal appointments, written in the stars before you took your first breath, designed to usher you into a season of abundance, an unshakable purpose. The air around you is charged with possibility, and every step you take is drawing you closer to a breakthrough that will redefine your story. You've carried dreams that felt too heavy, faced doubts that tried to dim your light, and walked through seasons where hope was a fragile flame. But God has been watching, weaving every moment into a divine symphony, and the crescendo is near. In Ecclesiastes 3:1 it's written, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Your season, chosen one, is dawning, and the dates God has set are the keys to your personal transformation. Picture a majestic tree, its roots deep in the earth, its branches reaching toward the sky, bearing fruit in its appointed season. That tree is you, rooted in faith, weathered by trials, and now ready to bloom with divine provision. Every challenge you've faced, from financial strain to moments of feeling unseen, has strengthened your roots, preparing you to carry the weight of heaven's blessings. The dates God has set are like the first rays of sunlight after a long winter, awakening the fruit of your destiny. You're not chasing a prosperous life anymore, you're stepping into it, guided by a divine rhythm that no force on earth can disrupt. But this rhythm requires your participation, your trust, your boldness, and your willingness to see beyond the ordinary into the extraordinary. Let's anchor this in a story that mirrors your journey. Consider Lila, a teacher who spent years pouring her heart into her students while battling self-doubt and a stagnant career. She dreamed of writing a book to inspire young women, but fear of failure kept her manuscript locked in a drawer. One day, on a date she couldn't have foreseen, a colleague invited her to a local writing workshop. There she met an editor who saw potential in her story, leading to a publishing deal within months. Lila's breakthrough wasn't random. It was the fruit of years of quiet preparation, of trusting God's timing, even when her dream felt out of reach. Your dates, chosen one, are like Lila's. They're moments when your faithfulness meets heaven's favor, turning your vision into reality. Now, let's confront the whispers of doubt that try to steal your focus. You might wonder, what if I'm not ready for these dates? What if I've missed my chance? These questions are echoes of the enemy's attempt to derail your faith journey, but they hold no power over God's promises. In Isaiah 55:11, God declares, "So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." The dates he set for you are backed by his word, and they will not fail. Your readiness isn't about perfection, it's about openness. A heart willing to say, "Lord, I'm here, use me." The 5 steps we've discussed: writing a goal, connecting with an encourager, acting on a dream, practicing gratitude, and praying with expectation, are your tools to stay open, to align your actions with heaven's agenda. Let's explore what these divine dates might look like in your life. They could be a moment when a long-delayed opportunity arrives, like a job offer that matches your passion, or a financial windfall that clears a lingering debt. They might be quieter, like a conversation that restores a broken relationship, or a sudden clarity that helps you forgive someone who hurt you. Imagine a sparkling stream, its waters carrying treasures from heaven, ideas, connections, peace, that flow into your life at the precise moment God has ordained. These dates aren't just about what you gain, they're about who you become in the process. A person of unshakable faith, radiant with the confidence that God's plan is unfolding perfectly. If this message is stirring your soul, igniting a fire for your divine purpose, join our community by typing "I'm ready for my divine dates" in the comments below. Your voice is a declaration, a beacon that inspires others to trust in their own breakthroughs. Your comment is more than words. It's a prophetic act, signaling to heaven that you're stepping into your destiny with boldness. And if you feel led to support this mission, a super thanks donation can help us share the promise of divine provision with more chosen ones, sowing seeds of hope across the globe. Let's dive into the spiritual weight of these dates. They're not just about external blessings, they're about an internal shift, a rewiring of your soul to operate in divine flow. Think of Peter, who spent years as a fisherman, his hands calloused from nets, his heart tethered to a life of toil. On a date he couldn't have predicted, Jesus stepped into his boat and said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Matthew 4:19. That moment changed everything, not because Peter was ready, but because he was willing. Your divine dates are like that call from Jesus. They're invitations to leave the familiar, to step into a life where your purpose is bigger than your plans, where your impact ripples beyond what you can see. What sets this season apart is the acceleration you're about to experience. The viral videos you've watched often promise breakthroughs but lack the specificity to guide you. This message is different. It's a roadmap, grounded in the 5 steps you're already taking, designed to position you for heaven's timing. In Zechariah 4:6, God says, "Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit." Your breakthrough doesn't depend on your strength. It depends on your surrender to the Spirit's leading. The dates God has set are moments when His Spirit moves, collapsing timelines, opening doors, and aligning circumstances in ways that defy logic. You may not see the full path yet, but every step you take in faith is a stone laid on the road to your prosperous life. Let's address the temptation to rush ahead, to force these dates to arrive on your terms. Impatience is a trap, luring you to trade God's perfect timing for human striving. In Psalm 27:14, David writes, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." Waiting doesn't mean passivity, it means active trust, living each day with the expectation that God's dates are unfolding. Your 5 steps, writing, connecting, acting, thanking and praying, are your way of waiting well, of preparing your heart and hands for the blessings to come. Picture a farmer sowing seeds in spring, trusting the harvest will come in its season. Your actions are seeds, and the dates God has set are the harvest, ripe with wealth creation and spiritual awakening. Now, imagine a celestial clock, its hands glowing with divine light, ticking toward the exact moment when your life shifts. Every prayer you've spoken, every act of obedience is a tick of that clock, bringing you closer to your breakthrough. You're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving, stepping into a season where financial freedom and overflowing blessings are your birthright. But what makes these dates sacred is your role in them. God isn't just handing you a gift, He's inviting you to co-create with Him, to build a life that reflects His glory. In Romans 8:28, Paul assures us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Your calling is active, chosen one, and the dates God has set are the stage where it will shine. Let's talk about the people around you, because your divine dates will ripple into their lives too. As you step into your destiny, you'll become a beacon, inspiring others to trust in God's timing. Think of a woman named Aisha, who, after years of feeling stuck in a toxic workplace, took a leap of faith and started her own graphic design business. On a date she didn't expect, a client's referral led to a contract that tripled her income. But the real miracle was how her courage inspired her sister to leave an unhealthy relationship and her best friend to pursue a long-denied degree. Your breakthrough, chosen one, isn't just for you. It's a spark that ignites hope in others, a testimony of what's possible when you align with heaven's calendar. What if the next moment you experience a kind word, an unexpected email, a quiet assurance in your heart, is the first note of the symphony God is composing? The dates He's set are not just endpoints, they're beginnings, launching you into a life where every area radiates divine order. But what if the key to unlocking these moments lies in the way you see yourself right now? Chosen one, you're standing in the glow of a divine invitation, where the dates God has set for your life are pulsing with purpose, calling you to see yourself not as a wanderer, but as a warrior, crafted for a destiny that's already unfolding. These sacred moments aren't just dots on a timeline, they're portals, gateways through which heaven's promises pour into your reality, transforming your faith journey into a radiant tapestry of divine provision. You've carried the weight of uncertainty, felt the sting of dreams deferred, and wrestled with moments when the world seemed to overlook your worth. But every step you've taken, every quiet prayer you've uttered, has been a seed planted in the fertile soil of God's plan. Now, those seeds are stirring, ready to burst forth with abundance on the dates He's ordained. In Psalm 139:16, it's written, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Your days, chosen one, are written in divine ink, and the pages are turning toward a season of personal transformation. Imagine a shimmering pathway stretching before you, each step illuminated by a star from heaven, guiding you toward the moments God has prepared. This path isn't paved with ease, but with purpose. Every trial you've faced, from financial pressures to moments of self-doubt, has been a stone laid to steady your journey. The dates God has set are like lanterns along this path, casting light on your divine purpose and revealing the beauty of what's to come. You're not just moving toward a breakthrough, you're becoming the breakthrough, a living testament to God's faithfulness. But this requires you to shift your gaze, to see yourself not through the lens of past struggles, but through the eyes of the one who called you chosen. Let's ground this in a story that echoes your own. Picture Javier, a mechanic who spent years working long hours to support his family, his heart heavy with a dream to open a youth mentorship program. Rejections piled up, grants were denied, and his community seemed indifferent. Yet, on a date he couldn't have anticipated, a chance meeting with a retired educator at a local fundraiser led to a partnership that secured funding and a donated space. Javier's dream came alive not because he forced it, but because he stayed faithful, trusting God's timing through years of closed doors. Your divine dates, chosen one, are like Javier's. They're moments when your persistence meets heaven's provision, turning your vision into a prosperous life. Now let's address the quiet fear that lingers, the worry that you might not recognize these dates when they arrive. What if they pass unnoticed, disguised as ordinary moments? This fear is a shadow, but it's no match for the light of God's guidance. In John 16:13, Jesus promises, "But when He, the Spirit of truth, comes, He will guide you into all the truth." The Holy Spirit is your compass, whispering discernment to your soul, helping you recognize the sacred moments when they come. Your 5 steps: writing a goal, connecting with an encourager, acting on a dream, practicing gratitude, and praying with expectation, are your way of tuning in, sharpening your spiritual senses to hear heaven's call. These steps aren't just actions, they're anchors, keeping you grounded as you prepare for the wealth creation and spiritual awakening God has planned. Let's explore the texture of these divine dates. They might appear as a sudden opportunity, a job offer that aligns with your passion, a financial gift that eases a burden, or an idea that sparks a new venture. Or they could be subtler, a moment of peace that settles your anxious heart, a conversation that restores your confidence, or a dream that reveals your next step. Picture a golden thread weaving through your days, connecting seemingly random events into a pattern of divine order. These dates aren't isolated, they're part of a larger story, where every moment builds on the last, leading you toward a life of overflowing blessings. Your role is to stay open, to trust that God's timing is flawless, even when the path feels unclear. If this message is setting your spirit ablaze, igniting a hunger for your divine purpose, join our community by typing "I see my divine dates" in the comments below. Your declaration is a spark, lighting the way for others to embrace their own breakthroughs. It's a reminder that you're not alone on this journey. Thousands of chosen ones are standing with you, proclaiming their trust in God's plan. And if you're moved to support this mission, a super thanks donation can help us carry the message of divine provision to more souls, planting seeds of hope in hearts across the world. Let's dive into the heart of what these dates demand: a redefinition of your identity. The viral videos you've seen often stir emotions but fall short of equipping you to live differently. This message is a call to transformation, urging you to shed the old labels: failure, unworthy, overlooked, and embrace the truth of who you are, a chosen vessel, anointed for impact. In 1 Peter 2:9, God declares, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light." Your divine dates are not just about what you'll receive. They're about stepping into this royal identity, walking with the confidence of someone who knows they're backed by heaven. What makes this season unique is the momentum building around you. You've felt it, haven't you? The way certain conversations feel charged with meaning, the way your dreams are growing bolder, the way small victories are stacking up. This is no accident. It's the Spirit moving, aligning your life with the dates God has set. Think of Ruth, who stepped into her divine moment, not with a grand plan, but with simple obedience. Gleaning in Boaz's field on a day that changed her future. Ruth 2:3. Your obedience, through your 5 steps, is like Ruth's gleaning, positioning you in the right field at the right time. The dates God has set are moments when your small acts of faith meet His grand design, creating a ripple effect of financial freedom and spiritual clarity. Let's address the temptation to shrink back, to let fear convince you that these dates are for someone else, someone more qualified, more prepared. This is a lie, crafted to keep you from your destiny. In Judges 6:12, when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he called him a mighty warrior while Gideon was hiding in a winepress. God saw what Gideon couldn't, and He sees the same in you. Your divine dates are not reserved for the perfect, they're for the willing, for those who dare to trust despite their flaws. Your 5 steps are your way of saying, "I'm willing," of stepping out of the winepress and into the battlefield of your purpose. Now, imagine a radiant compass in your hands, its needles spinning not toward north, but toward heaven's will. This compass is your faith, guiding you toward the dates God has set, even when the terrain feels unfamiliar. Every prayer, every grateful moment, every bold action is a turn of the needle, pointing you toward your breakthrough. You're not wandering anymore, you're navigating, led by a God who never loses sight of his children. In Proverbs 3:5-6, he promises, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Your paths are straightening, chosen one, and the dates ahead are the milestones where your trust will bear fruit. Let's talk about the ripple effect of these dates. They're not just for you. They're for the lives you'll touch, the communities you'll inspire, the legacy you'll build. Picture a stone dropped into a still lake, its ripples spreading far beyond the point of impact. Your breakthrough will send waves of hope, showing others what's possible when you trust God's timing. Consider a man named Eleanor, who, after years of struggling as a freelance artist, landed a major commission on a date she didn't expect. That success didn't just change her finances, it inspired her to mentor young artists, creating a community of creatives who now thrive because of her courage. Your divine dates, chosen one, are stones in the lake of your life, creating ripples of prosperity and purpose that will outlast you. What if the next moment you encounter a spark of inspiration, a kind gesture, a door cracking open, is the first ripple of the breakthrough God has planned? The dates he's set are not just destinations, they're invitations to live with bold expectation, to see every day as a step toward your destiny. But what if the secret to stepping into these moments lies in how you carry your faith right now? Chosen one? You're standing on the precipice of a divine unfolding, where the dates God has set for your life are not just moments, but sacred intersections, where heaven's promises collide with your faith to create a life radiant with purpose. These dates are like stars breaking through a clouded night sky, each one a beacon guiding you toward a destiny that's been written since the beginning of time. You've walked through seasons of doubt, where the weight of unanswered prayers pressed against your heart, where financial struggles or fractured relationships made you question if your dreams were too big. But every moment of perseverance, every whispered hope, has been a brushstroke on the canvas of your spiritual awakening. God has seen it all, and in his perfect timing, he's aligning your steps with a divine rhythm that will lead you to a prosperous life. In Lamentations 3:25, it's written, "The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him, to the one who seeks him." Your seeking, chosen one, is about to bear fruit, and the dates God has set are the harvest of your faith. Imagine a golden hourglass, its sands glowing with celestial light, each grain marking a moment in your journey toward divine provision. The trials you've faced, whether it was a job that drained your spirit, a betrayal that left scars, or a vision that seemed to stall, were not wasted. They were grains of sand, falling precisely to shape the hour of your breakthrough. These divine dates are not just about receiving blessings. They are about stepping into a version of yourself that radiates confidence, clarity, and unshakable trust in God's plan. You're not just waiting for a miracle, you're becoming one, a living testament to what happens when faith meets heaven's timing. But this requires you to release the old stories, the ones that told you you're not enough, that your moment has passed. Those stories are shadows, and the light of God's promises is burning them away. Let's anchor this in a story that resonates with your own. Consider Naomi, a nurse who spent years caring for others while her own dream of opening a wellness center felt like a distant hope. She faced endless obstacles, limited funds, long hours, and skepticism from those around her. But on a date she couldn't have predicted, a patient's family member, moved by her compassion, introduced her to a community leader who offered a grant and a partnership. Within months, Naomi's wellness center was thriving, not because she forced the outcome, but because she stayed faithful, trusting God's timing through every setback. Your divine dates, chosen one, are like Naomi's. They're moments when your quiet obedience meets heaven's open doors, transforming your vision into a reality of wealth creation and purpose. Now let's confront the subtle resistance that might be stirring in your heart, the fear that these dates will demand more than you can give, that you'll need to be someone you're not to step into them. This fear is a whisper, but it's no match for the truth of God's strength. In Philippians 4:13, Paul declares, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." Your divine dates don't require you to be perfect. They require you to be present, to show up with the faith you've already cultivated through your 5 steps: writing a goal, connecting with an encourager, acting on a dream, practicing gratitude, and praying with expectation. These steps are your foundation, grounding you as you prepare for the moments when heaven's favor will overtake you. Let's explore what these divine dates might feel like. They could be bold. A contract landing in your inbox, a reconciliation with someone you thought was lost to you, or a financial breakthrough that clears a path forward. Or they might be gentle, a moment of clarity that shifts your perspective, a kind word that restores your courage, or a dream that feels like a divine download. Picture a radiant mosaic, each piece a moment in your life, coming together to form a masterpiece of God's design. These dates are the pieces that bring the picture into focus, revealing a life of overflowing blessings where every area, your finances, your relationships, your health, reflects divine order. Your role is to trust, to move forward with the assurance that God's timing is never late. If this message is igniting a fire in your spirit, stirring a hunger for your divine purpose, join our community by typing "My divine dates are here" in the comments below. Your declaration is a light, shining for others who are trusting in God's timing, creating a chorus of faith that echoes across the globe. And if you're moved to support this mission, a super thanks donation can help us share the promise of a prosperous life with more chosen ones, sowing seeds of hope that will bloom in countless hearts. Now, let's dive into the spiritual depth of these dates. They're not just about what happens to you, they're about what happens through you. God isn't just preparing you to receive, He's equipping you to pour out, to become a conduit of His love and provision. Think of Joseph, sold into slavery, imprisoned and forgotten. Yet, on a divine date, he was elevated to steward Egypt's wealth, saving nations from famine. Genesis 41:41. Your dates are like Joseph's. They're moments when your trials become your testimony, when your faithfulness positions you to impact lives far beyond your own. Your 5 steps are your preparation, not just for personal gain, but for a legacy that glorifies God and lifts others. What makes this season distinct is the clarity you're beginning to feel, like fog lifting from a mountain path. You've noticed it, haven't you? The way certain moments feel pregnant with meaning, the way your intuition seems to hum with insight, the way small victories are building momentum. This is the Spirit at work, aligning your heart with the dates God has set. In Isaiah 20:21, God promises, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" Your ears are hearing that voice now, guiding you toward your breakthrough. Your 5 steps, writing, connecting, acting, thanking, and praying, are your way of walking in that voice, of staying attuned to heaven's direction. Let's address the temptation to doubt the specificity of these dates. You might think, how can God have exact moments planned for me? But God's precision is his signature. In Galatians 4:4, Paul writes, "But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son." If God orchestrated the exact moment for Jesus' arrival, how much more has he planned the moments for your life? Your divine dates are not guesses, they're guarantees, backed by the one who holds time in his hands. Your role is to stay faithful, to keep taking your 5 steps with expectation, knowing that each one is a bridge to the moments God has prepared. Now, imagine a celestial river, its waters sparkling with promises of abundance, flowing toward you with unstoppable force. This river carries the resources, relationships, and revelations tied to your divine dates. You don't need to chase it, you need to stand in its current, letting it wash away fear and fill you with faith. Every grateful thought, every bold action, every prayer you speak is a step into that river, positioning you for the breakthroughs to come. In Deuteronomy 31:8, God assures, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Your divine dates are guarded by his presence, and no obstacle can block what he's promised. Let's talk about the impact of these dates on your relationships. As you step into this season, you'll notice a shift. Some people will draw closer, drawn to your light, while others may pull away, unable to handle your growth. This isn't rejection, it's realignment. Picture a garden, its flowers blooming in their season, while weeds are gently removed to make room for growth. Your divine dates will prune your circle, bringing divine connections, people who see your value, who speak life into your dreams, who walk with you in faith. Think of a woman named Clara, who, after years of toxic friendships, found her divine date in a chance encounter at a church event. A new friend introduced her to a network of entrepreneurs, leading to a business venture that changed her life. Your dates, chosen one, will bring similar connections, aligning you with those who reflect heaven's purpose for you. What if the next moment you experience a spark of hope, an unexpected kindness, a door slightly ajar, is the first wave of the river God has set in motion? These divine dates are not just endpoints, they're beginnings, launching you into a life where every step is guided by divine purpose. But what if the key to embracing these moments lies in how you respond to the whispers of faith in your heart right now?